Hello, College Algebra, and welcome to the second half of an ellipse. This is called, it should say ellipse part 2 on your notes, is what you're looking at, so it's still in technically 7.1. We're just going to continue off of what we learned yesterday. So let's go, and I hope you enjoy what we are doing. Okay, now we're going to give you the equation of ellipse in the standard form, kind of like we've done circles in the past. But now you're going to have to continue to create then to complete the square. So we group our x's, 4x squared negative 32x squared, don't forget your blank, 9y squared plus 36y, don't forget your blank, then the 64 is in the way, so we subtract him over. Now we have two blanks to fill in, but this time we're going to do it a little differently, because remember the x squared has to be 1, but I can't divide because I have the x and the y. So this time we're going to factor the 4 out. So we're going to factor the 4 out, right? So we're dividing by 4 basically. So the 4 goes on the outside, give me x squared minus 8x. But that means I also have to put a 4 in front of the x value over here because I'm going to multiply that. Over here we got to factor out whatever's in front of the y squared, which is a 9. So we factor him out, giving us y squared plus 4y and also adding the 9 here because of the y. Now we complete the square. So half the middle term squared. So half a negative 8 squared, so that's a negative 4 squared is 16. And we have to put that in both blanks. Half of 4 squared is 2 squared, which is 4, and we put that in both blanks. All right, now we've got our perfect square right here and here. So this is x minus 4, and this one's y plus 2. Do our math here, 64 and 36, so we end up with 36. So now we still have to have this divided equal to 1. So we're going to divide everybody by 36, like so. So now our new equation of our ellipse is x minus 4 over 9, y plus 2 over 4. So now we can graph this in one step. I hope you're kind of getting to that point. So now when I look at this, I know my center is at 4, negative 2. So we're going to go to 4, negative 2 and put our center. I know my major axis is on the x, and it's 3 long, because the square root of 9 equals 3, and that's on the x-axis. So from the center, we can move 3 to the left and to the right, because it's on the x. Now, the minor is the square root of 4, which equals 2. So we're going to go from the center up 2 and down 2. So we're good to this point. Now we have to do the foci, just like before. So we take 9, the larger minus the smaller, equals 5, and the square root of 5 is 2.3. So from the center, we're going to go out 2.3. 1, 2.3 and put our dot, and 1, 2, 2.3 and put our dot. Now we just connect our vertices, and we have graphed our ellipse. Okay, I hope you did a great job. Now, our vertices, we just have to look and see where they are. I am at 4, 0, and 4, negative 4 for my minor. My major are at 1, negative 2, and 6, negative 2. There should not be endpoints here. That's the same thing. Okay, foci are now at, we went 2.3 out, correct? So that puts me at 1.7, negative 2. And 2.3 out from 4 is 6.3, negative 2. And we are done. All right, let's see how you're doing with that. Okay, pause and give yours a shot. So your first step was to group the squareds, or the x's. Don't forget your blank. Plus, now you have to group the y's. And when we group the y's, we have 4y squared minus 8y plus your blank equals, subtract your 13. And now we have our two blanks. Well, the first one, when we look at the x's, I don't have to divide by anything. I don't have to factor anything out. So he's ready to go. But the y's, I have this 4 in common. So I have to get rid of that 4. To do that, we're going to factor that 4 out. So the x's stay the same. So that's x squared plus 10x plus blank. Nothing changes. But this time, I have to factor out the 4 to get a 1 in front of that y squared. So that's y squared, and then 8 divided by 4 is that negative 2y plus my blank. So on the equal side, it's going to be negative 13. I didn't add anything for the x's, so he stays the same, but I have a 4 in front of that y. Now we're going to go back and complete these squares. So we're going to take 10 divided by 2. 5 squared is 25. Goes in both blanks. Now we have to do the same thing for the y's. So negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1 squared is 1 in both blanks. And now we just do our little bit of math. So that's x plus 5 squared plus 4 times y minus 1 squared, remember half the middle terms, equals, now let's add all this up. You got a negative 13 plus 25 plus 1, and that equals 16. So now we're going to divide everybody by 16 because this has to be a 1 right here. Remember, he has to equal 1. So when we do that, we have x plus 5 squared over 16 plus y minus 2 squared over 4 equals 1. And that's the equation of your ellipse. So now let's graph this thing. So we know 16 is under the x, so that's going to be my measure. So first we have to go to our center, which is negative, whoops. Said it right, wrote it wrong. I hate it when that happens. So this gives me negative 5, 2. So let's go to negative 5, positive 2, and draw in our center. Now we know 16 is our major axis because it's the larger, and he's on the x. So we have to go 4. So we know our major axis is the x, and it's 4 long. So from here, we're going to go 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 to the right, putting our vertices at negative 9, 2, and negative 1, 2. Now let's do our minor. And we know that's going to be on the y, and it's 2 long. So from the center, we're going to go up 2 and down 2. So my points are going to be negative 5, 4, and negative 5, 0. Now we have to do our foci. So the foci, we know we have to take the larger minus the smaller, which equals 12. And the square root of 12 is roughly 3.5. So we have to go 3.5 from our center. So we have to subtract 3.5 from negative 5. Let's go down here. So that will put us at negative 1.5, comma, 2. And we have to add 3.5 to negative 5, which will put us at negative 8.5, comma, 2. And then we draw in our ellipse. I hope you did a great job. Okay, last but not least is a couple of story problems. I really like this one. Okay, we have a semi-elliptical bridge that a truck has to go under. It's a one-way road, which is very important. Okay, the height is 15. So we're going to put this on an axis, right? This is x, this is y, this here part is 0, 0. Now the height is 10, so the very top of this guy is 10. So that is your minor axis, it's 10 long. It has a width of 40. Well, the 40 goes from the end point to end point, which means the middle of this guy is 20, which is your major axis. All right, he's centered at 0, 0. Now my truck is 12 feet wide and 9 feet tall. I need to know if it's going to clear. All right, so if he's 12 feet wide total, he's going to go down the center, so he has 6 feet. So from 6 feet to 9, I need to know if it's going to hit at that point is what we're looking for. So our ellipse is x squared over 20 squared, because that's my major, plus y squared over 10 squared. So this is my ellipse equation. Now, if I multiply this out, multiply everybody by 400, right? I need a common denominator. So this guy needs a 4, this guy needs 400, and then they disappear. I want to know, I either plug in 6 for x to find the height, or I plug in 9 for y to find the width. I just chose 6. So I'm going to plug 6 in for the height, and when I'm done, the height, my y, better be higher than 9 or it's not going to pass. So you get 36 plus 4y squared, subtract your 36, divide by your 4, take your square root, and we get 9.5. That means my truck will clear by a half a foot because he's 9 foot tall. Okay, pause and try yours. It's the same formula, just a different truck or a different bridge. All right, so your bridge, make sure you've paused and done this, has a span of 50 and a height of 10. So your bridge is going to span 50. So this whole thing is 50, which means half of it is 25. He still has a height of 10. So this is your ellipse. Okay, your truck is still going to go underneath. I still want to know if it's going to clear. This is 6 and this is 9 is what we're checking. So now we got to write the equation of my parabola. So x squared plus y squared equals 1. We know x squared is over 25 squared. Y squared is over 10 squared. So now we do that math. And 25 is x squared over 625 plus y squared over 100. That has to equal 1. All right. The easiest way to get this guy is just to multiply by each other, right? So this guy needs 100. This guy needs 625. And this guy needs both. Whoops. Because he's over 1. So 625 times 100. So my equation is 100 x squared plus 625 y squared equals 62500. Now again, I plug either the x or y. I know the x is 9 or 6. So we know x equals 6 from above because that's half my truck. So I plug that in here. So we have 100 times 6 squared. And now we're solving for y. And we have to see if that is taller than the truck. Hopefully, right? So now we got 36 times 100. Subtract your 3600. I'm pretty sure that's 58900. Divide by 625. So now y squared equals 94.24. Take the square root of both sides, and you get y equals 9.7. So the truck will clear with 0.7 feet extra. Okay, hope you did a good job. Okay, good luck on your homework. I hope you do well. Make sure you post questions if you have any. Thank you.